whatever you think you can't. Confidence comes from the thing that you built. This kid came from that. I'm in the hardest training in the world.
Like a sculptor chiseling a masterpiece, Goggins carves out a blueprint for real transformation, pushing us to break through the barriers of complacency and redefine our limits.
That's your day. There is no room for anything else.
Yeah, there is a lot of room. So there's 24 hours, and I use it all pretty well.
How's your sleep? What's your sleep like?
It's really good.
Okay.
It is now.
8 hours-ish, something like that?
7-8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you'd need to with this sort of volume.
7-8 hours.
And you're still doing your stretching stuff?
Every night.
With each rep, each mile, and each moment of discomfort, Goggins reminds us that true change is born from the crucible of pain, that growth lies in the uncharted territories beyond our comfort zones.
That's one hell of a day.
It is. And it's been like that for 7 years.
But going back to what you said before about needing to cap success, you wouldn't be able to fit even 1/10 of that in.
Exactly.
If you were chasing down.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly it. So if all that's f***ed up, that's why I got to cap success, because I can't put that in. And that's my growth factor.
Through his grueling regimen, Goggins dismantles the facade of weakness, revealing the indomitable strength that lies within, calling us to embrace the discomfort and emerge stronger, both physically and mentally.
So what are you doing today?
Doing the same thing I was doing last year and last month and last week. I'm continually to look in the mirror, look at the reflection. It's called the accountability mirror. What have I done today to improve David Goggins?
In the crucible of his iron will, Goggins forges a pathway to greatness, demanding that we shatter the chains of mediocrity and push ourselves to the brink of exhaustion in pursuit of our most audacious goals.
You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There's no 5K. There's no I'm going to get into school to be this or that and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's going to come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes.
With unwavering conviction, he challenges us to confront our own limitations, to step into the arena of self-improvement and rewrite the narratives that have held us back for far too long.
So with the push-up, you're here. This is your hinge part. Yeah, you are using your chest, using your triceps, but this hinge is being used an awful lot. This elbow hinge. These shoulders are being used an awful lot. Even the pull-up motion being used an awful lot. So basically, what happens is you're going to get injured. So for a lot of you, I would definitely suggest doing a lot more squats, do a lot more abs, doing things like that. Even abs, you can injure your abs, but going from 0 to hero, you will have some injuries. And you got this ISOM, try to get your body to recover as fast as possible, taking in proteins, taking in aminos, things like that, getting as much rest as you can. But you're going to get overuse training issues with your body. That just comes with it's just nature of the beast. And like I said, those of you who start to get injured, start doing those, start making those squats, your go-to, because your legs can handle so much. When I was doing the pull-up record, people wonder why that was so hard for me. First of all, I had a jacked up body when I was doing it, a very, out of alignment body. But your only contact point is your hands. And there's been times in 200-mile races where I tore my quad, completely tore my quad. I was able to bandage it up and walk it out. I was able to walk 75 miles. So this is the thing, your legs can handle a lot of abuse. So when you start hurting, go to your legs.
As we sweat and struggle, Goggins reminds us that transformation is not a destination, but a lifelong journey, one that requires relentless effort, unwavering discipline, and a refusal to settle for anything less than our best.
I hope it works. What works for me is that everyday resume, the things I know I've accomplished, the things I know I've done, real hard work, the real calluses on my mind, the real calluses on my hands. That's it. You don't need to pound your chest in the mirror anymore if you have that.
Through his uncompromising training regimen, Goggins teaches us the power of consistency, that real transformation is not achieved through sporadic bursts of effort, but through the relentless pursuit of excellence day in and day out.
I guarantee you this is harder than this. And that's basically what you have to go back to, but it's hard to do because in that moment of suffering, all you can think about is getting the fuck out of it. So you got to take that 1 second to pull yourself out of that suffering to have a clear thought. It's hard to have clear thoughts in the midst of extreme pain and suffering. Find that clear thought. Remind yourself of what you've been through back in the past, back in the day, to get to where you're at today. So that's what I do. It's a constant reminder. And then through that process, I guarantee you, your mind and body will say, oh, we got this. We've been here before. Maybe not in that kind of pain and suffering, but we've been here before in the demons of your own mind. So that's the best reminder in the world. Well, I believe that you have to build belief. Belief is like, there's an after school special belief where the mom says, believe in yourself. And that's all great. But there's also a built belief. And the built belief is one where you are constantly, like for me, I came from a bad place. How I build belief is through the daunting tasks I put myself through. So that's proof positive that I can. So it correlates. And that's how this piece of kid I once thought I was built belief by saying, I was in 3 hell weeks. I went to Ranger School. I tried out for Delta selection.
Undeniable stack of proof.
That is proof. So whenever you think you can't, confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. It can't be like, hey, I'm gonna go knock that out. You gotta look over here and say, I can knock that out. It's belief, and it's built on what you put in to yourself. I started Navy SEAL training with stress fractures. Stress fractures,
That's
not shin splints.
That's hard to finish.
Stress fractures. Starting the hardest training, arguably the hardest training in the world with stress fractures. And this is when I started to not put a cap on the body if the mind is there. Every morning I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to my dive cage, go in there before anybody saw me. I'd get duct tape, and I would tape from my forefoot all the way up to the mid of my calf, and I would put 2 black socks on. And so I ran not using the pivot.
Oh my gosh.
And I ran my hip flexors. So for the first 45 minutes to an hour, I was in absolute excruciating pain. But what motivated me through that whole process was the fact that this kid came from that. I'm in the hardest training in the world, in the worst shape of my entire life. What if I can graduate amongst these studs?
Wow.
All these guys around me are studs. They're stallions, they're gladiators in my class. They're all healthy, most of them. They're not broken like this. They may have some, everybody's sick going through that training. Yeah. But if I can graduate, it would change everything for me. If I can start the hardest training in the world, broken, and graduate. So my mind fed off of that. You are now, from the weakest man, you are now the hardest man to ever live. If you can do this. If you can do this. Life is one big mind game.
Yeah.
And you're playing it with yourself. Is it true? I don't care.